does healing help you to get more present? Healing these past traumas?
You might change your perception of trauma.
Hey, my soul tribe, this is Solstice here. My client came to me because she felt like she wasn't very connected to her higher self, to God, in this lifetime. I specialize in healing childhood and past life trauma using quantum healing. I think we think in past life regressions that we only go back to past lives that are traumatic. And in this session, she was shown a life in which she got to experience a connection to God, and it was really beautiful. So if you'd like to know more about how a session can help you, you can go to my website at solsticeelliott.com and we can talk more about it.
I don't know what they're called, but they're like Asian. I don't want to say monastery, but maybe kind of like off in the Himalayas, in the mountains.
Okay. So you're seeing these monasteries off in the distance?
Yeah, I think that's what they are. They're very like they're those like particular buildings, and they kind of like curl up almost at the top. It's like they have layers. I don't really know how to describe it.
Okay. Very good.
Like reds and yellows.
Are you a man or a woman? Do you sense yourself to have a body?
Initially I didn't, but I guess it felt more male when you asked. But I didn't really sense much beyond that.
Are you old or young?
I feel like I'm pretty young, like 20s, 30s, bald. And it does look like I'm wearing a robe, like a deep, like a bright red, but kind of a deeper red robe.
What's on your feet?
I look kind of like slippers, like nicer embroidered slippers with no backs on them, so they just like cover half the feet, but they look more like it's just something you just take to get to places, but you don't wear them really very often because it's like not sacred to wear them, but you have to wear them to get to certain places.
So you're barefoot when you're doing sacred things?
Mm-hmm.
So do you live at this building? Or where do you live?
It feels like a community. I don't think I live at that building, but it feels like I'm there every day. But I live nearby. It's almost like it feels like a village.
So I'd like for you to go inside of this building. What does the door look like?
Initially the doors are open, but it's like two grand doors. Very intricate.
What are they made out of?
Feels like dark wood. With a lot of like sacredness in them, like gold and just very artistic.
What does it feel like? Are you inside the building now?
Yeah, it feels very open. It feels like it's a part of nature.
Nice. What do you feel like when you're there?
Quiet. Peace.
So look around you. Are there other people there? Is it just you?
There's a few, but they're all in their like prayers and meditations. I'm seeing like some like bowing to the earth.
So what do you do there when you go there every day?
Connect with God.
And do you connect with God? Or are you still trying to connect with God?
I'm connected.
You're connected?
Mm-hmm.
What does that feel like?
Peace and quiet. Happiness.
What are you feeling right now?
Nostalgia. I miss it.
It's nice to feel that happiness and that peace.
Yeah.
Why did you choose to bring forward the life called a monk with the red robes and the bald head. What was that lifetime about?
To remind her of her infinite connection to God, that she is not separate.
So in this lifetime, she feels separate. Is there anything else you can suggest on how she can feel more connected?
I'm hearing devote yourself to the divine. See everything as sacred. Treat everything as sacred and holy. We devalue things or people, but everyone comes from the same source. Everyone is made up of cosmic consciousness. Therefore, the energy of a bee is the same of a tree or a child. They're all of the same genetic makeup. So she can feel herself with God when she realizes that everything is an aspect of God.
So he feels like being on this hamster wheel of healing is the way to experience that connection to God like she had in the other lifetime. Is that true?
Can you say it again?
Well, the higher self is saying that's just a matter of knowing that everything's connected and that everything is God. And then you can feel connected to God. And I'm wondering if all this healing isn't really necessary. You could just connect in. All this healing work to get off the hamster wheel of healing.
You can connect to the divine in whatever it is you want to do. You could be doing a mundane task or something extremely spiritual or intellectual. It's just what feels best for you. How present can you be with it?
But does healing help you to get more present? Healing these past traumas?
You might change your perception of trauma when you realize that it was an experience you wanted to have. So instead of seeing it as a trauma, you can see it as an experience. And when you can allow yourself to see the experience that you wanted from it, there's nothing to heal because you chose it. It's the rejection of the experience that perpetuates the feeling of trauma, that perpetuates the feeling of brokenness, that puts you on the hamster wheel. But when you can realize that it was just an experience without the emotional attachments, then the trauma ceases to exist because there's nothing wrong with it. It's the mind that perceives trauma. The body has memories, yes, but it is the mind that perceives it as trauma. And the mind is a fickle thing. It's very in an infantile state of evolution. You should not trust the mind. You should trust what feels good, because that's when you're connected to your spirit. And that's when you're connected to the divine.
So it seems simple, but I keep thinking about I'm doing a mundane task and I can't be fully present with it. So what is the answer to how to get fully present and connected to the divine even in the most mundane things? What's blocking
It's
that?
your mind.
How do you get past the mind?
You become the body.
So you get more embodied.
You activate your senses. You turn into the subtleties. You breathe. The only reason someone can't be present is because their mind is telling them they need to be doing something different, or it's thinking about a million different things. Yet the mind does that no matter what activity you do. It doesn't matter if you're doing something mundane or spiritual, the mind's going to do the same thing, because it doesn't want you to remember your own divinity, because it's trying to keep you safe. But when you can realize that the mind is a very infantile state, you no longer take the commands of an infant, because you know that there's higher energies at play.